New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. And hello again, dear ones. Reverend Robert with you here on a Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. on the Mountain Time Zone, and that means it is time for the Growing Edge. Now, if this is your very first time with us, welcome, welcome, welcome. I forgot to change the date on my banner here. Let me do that real quick. The Growing Edge, if this is your first time with us, is an opportunity to come together and look at what's happening, not just in the world of New Thought, but in the world of overall, and how the principles, practices, the processes, the people of this world and this philosophy are working together, I believe, to create this thing called a world that works for everyone. So, and on the Growing Edge, each week, we take a look and explore, what's going on that allows me, I like to look at it from the perspective of what's happening and what of the various processes and practices that I use are going to best support me in moving forward in a spiritual way. I want to give an example of that. Many years ago, I was introduced to this wonderful little book, The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price. And in the middle of it, if you're familiar at all with this, in the middle, there's 10 different paragraphs. And the challenge of that book is to spend 40 days. You can make it as many days as you want. The original challenge is to spend 40 days. And each day you start with day one in the book and you journal whatever's in that passage, and then you fill the rest of the page, or you journal whatever feels good. Those that know me know I love journaling, and I've done over the years now, I've done this practice many, many times. Sometimes I've stopped at 30 days and sometimes I've stopped at 40 days. And one of the pieces of the challenge is that if you miss a day, you got to stop and start over from day one again. And the objective is to make 40 days. I'm coming up on 300. Today was day 360. Today was the 360th day in a row that I have participated in that spiritual practice. Every day for the last 360 days, I have taken 10, sometimes 15 minutes. Sometimes it doesn't happen until the end of the day. Sometimes it happens right at the beginning of the day. And in that, I have expanded my consciousness. And many of those daily passages, because there's only 10, so you're repeating them all over and over and over and over and over again. 360 days, done them 36 times. And in that experience of it all, I am growing into a greater experience of prosperity, of financial prosperity, sorry, I forgot to turn off my device there. That's my apologies. And so in this 360 days, in this past almost a year, and I'm not going to stop, I'm going to continue, I'm going to keep going because it continues to serve and support me. And in that, what I invite you to consider is, where is there a practice in your life that you can pick up that will sustain you over the long term? Now, I love prayer and I love my meditations, and they're often short-term experiences. Prayer by itself is absolutely a short-term experience. The longer-term experiences, what can I utilize that gives me the opportunity to practice over time and have a documented proof of my experience? We can go back a year in this journal, and I can easily go back and look at where was I 6 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago, in relationship to these 10 easy statements. Now, this isn't the only practice I use, obviously. We do visioning on Monday mornings, and we do stream of consciousness journaling on Tuesdays, and on Wednesdays it's all about meditation. Throughout the week we have various meditations and things that happen around this ministry, around this community, this network. And they're all designed to provide us various ways, and here's my big word for the day, folks. These are all, they all give us different ways to listen to the divine, to listen for the truth, to listen for inspiration, to listen more deeply, much more deeply. And I get it. Those that have worked with me over these last couple of decades of being a part of this movement, many will recognize that I have had to learn to slow down and listen more deeply, rather than believe that I already understand what other people are sharing or considering or asking or would are inviting me to consider. Yeah, I don't think I'm all that terrible at it. I still have my own challenges and times when I don't listen as deeply or as accurately as I could. And those are an opportunity to turn and say, okay, yep, here's a growing edge. Here's a place where I can become more, and I want to define that word in just a second here. I'm finding the places where I can become more of my authentic self, of my true self, of the reason my soul is chosen to incarnate in this body at this time doing this kind of work. And that happens through the listening. So what is this piece about more? That's something I want you to listen to for. A long time ago, words and letters, and there used to be an organization called the United Church of Religious Science. And within that organization, there was an idea of the core council, the core of this, the core, and it was an acronym for the consciousness of reality evolving. And somewhere in my coming to understand what that really means and how to activate that, I also stumbled upon an idea for more. The motion of reality evolving. The movement, the activity of reality and evolving. So when I speak to anything and have a desire for more here, more love, more abundance, more prosperity, more giving, more sharing, what it is that I'm calling for is not a quantity. It's not a quantity. It's the experience of it. It's the experience of being witness to reality moving, to witness reality moving in ways that meet my consciousness, that fulfill my understanding, my perception, my belief in how to live a great life, how to have a good life, how to take care of the kids, how to make sure this gets taken care of, that gets taken care of, how to figure it out as we go along. And what I've come to learn is there's always more than enough resources, enough opportunities, enough of everything. I, in my life, just have to become open to it, aware of it, available to allow everything to flow, for there to always be enough, however that may show up, through whatever means, through whatever avenues, it matters not. Because I am in a place where I can witness the evolution of my reality. I get to witness it. Now, if I can see it happening, well, there's no question then that my experience is also evolving. My life, my every piece, all of it. The financial, the kids, the work, the ideas, the vision, the demonstrations, the communities, the travel, the this, the that. All the things that are going on in the world simultaneously. And I can't possibly be involved with everyone. I can't possibly be aware of everyone. I can't possibly be, I can't give myself to every single cause and every single thing. But what I can do is I can give myself to myself. And I can give more of my authentic self, the motion of reality evolving, and I can give more of who I am in service to this great, great journey that we're all working on together, which is, again, we're creating a world that works for everyone, that works for all. There's different ways to say it. Different organizations use different language. Different communities and ministries have different focuses on what we're doing. I think every single spiritual community out there, no matter what organization you might belong to, no matter what name is on the front door of your church or center or community or collective or whatever it may be, I believe we're all being called to be more authentic, to be the movement, the motion of reality evolving as authenticity, as equity. I look at what's happening in the world today and I see yet another, what I can't say that I know all the rules, and I can't say I know all the regulations within the Olympic world, but what I can see from the outside appears to be a demonstration of white supremacy once again grasping for attention in the world of track and field and other Olympic sports, where it is now becoming more and more aware, more and more conscious that there has been, that, here's the proof that systemic racism has been alive and well within the Olympic organization. And as people start to say, no more, I'm not going to stand for it anymore, well, people are going to get upset. And they're going to use rules, and they're going to allow for minor infractions to impact careers, all because of holding on to an old set of values that no longer serve. Right? Think of some of the things you valued when you were younger that just don't serve anymore. I had a huge value on my ability to get out on the sharp end of a rope and climb rocks and spires and canyons and walls and anything. It was hard enough, and you could, we'd go after it. Didn't always win, didn't always complete everything. Luckily, never got hurt very badly as well. And eventually, I watched some friends that did get hurt very badly in that sport. And it changed my values. It changed what's most important to me. That's life. If I'm still valuing what I valued when I was 19, 20, 25, 30, that'd be a really weird. And people joke about that. If I knew when I was 20 what I know now. And when I was 20, I wouldn't have listened to myself now. I would have thought I was an old man, didn't know what I was talking about. But over time, I've grown to listen more deeply for the things that never go away. To listen for the things that continuously bring themselves into my life, that are always there when I listen. Now, that listening might happen through a visioning experience, or that listening might, and for me, those again know me, that's one of my primaries. Wow, that is my primary. That is my kit and caboodle, if you will. I love to vision, and I love to be in the visioning process, and I use the visioning questions not just in traditional visioning sessions. This program, The Growing Edge, is a visioning question. What must I become? What am I being called to become? There's different iterations of these questions and different languaging from different organizations and different traditions. And I believe if the essence of the practice remains the same, then modifications are absolutely acceptable and warranted. That's the motion of reality evolving. We do not pray as Ernest Holmes prayed, if you're in Science of Mind, right? Or as the Fillmores prayed, if you're in Unity, or as Emily Cady prayed, if you're in Divine Science. Wherever you find your new thought philosophy, wherever you find your spiritual philosophy, there are those that represent the pillar of prayer, but we don't pray like they do. I don't get down and beg and beseech. I don't get down on bended knee and say, oh, please, 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 bless me because, I'm more special. Our prayer is a prayer not of beseeching, not of begging to a far-off Santa Claus God with a white flowing beard sitting on the clouds in another dimension, casting spells over who gets what and who's blessed and who isn't. No. We're dealing with a verifiable energetic vibration of truth, of a process, of an evolutionary process, whereby we align our consciousness with a higher ideal, with a higher vision than what we may currently be expressing or accepting or understanding or embodying. In prayer, yes, I speak my word, but all I'm doing is speaking a word so that I might listen to the truth. So I do everything in prayer to open myself to allow for the flow of truth and then convince myself that that is truth. And as I do that, then I become more conscious and more aware, and I experience more of that truth out in my world. I tell you, anytime somebody says, hey, let's pray together, and they're telling you what to believe or telling you what to experience or telling you what you should or shouldn't be doing, that's not prayer. That's coercion. That's manipulation. That's not prayer. Prayer is nothing more than the opening. It is what I have to say to be in a place where I can listen, absolutely listen for the divine, and then remind myself of what the divine is telling me through my mind. Do you need to hear that again? I do. Right? All I'm doing is getting myself to a place where I can listen for the divine inflow and then use that to change my own mind, my own limited thinking, and thereby move the creative process forward so that new thinking becomes the growing edge, the paradigm, the rock upon which I stand, and must therefore manifest in my life and in my ministry and in my community and with you and everyone that we get to play with and everybody that might watch this or never watch this or is waiting to watch this or going to get home later tonight and want to tune into. We are all together in this thing called oneness. Now, not everybody gets that. Not everybody acts like it. Oh, well, I'm not here to save the world. I'm here to listen. So I'm going to listen to the people that do get this, that do understand this philosophy. I'm going to listen to the people that are seeking to better understand this philosophy and how you can absolutely directly use this power, presence, and intelligence to create the life you truly desire. That's what's going on. Now, my growing edge is going to be very, very different than your growing edge, right? My form of listening is going to be very different from your form of listening. One of the easiest forms of listening that I have found is simply meditation. An opportunity to be in meditation, either individually or collectively. If we're working collectively, if there's a handful of us in a room, then we're not just being in that place of being able to listen to what's happening, but we're in a place of opening to an even greater sense of listening. And it's through the listening that we gain the new information that we're going to use to change our own thinking, to change our own values, to change what we believe so that we may create and demonstrate the life of our dreams. So in meditation, specifically private, personal, me, just me, me and the candle, me and the hammock, me and my journal, whatever it might be, in those private pieces of meditation, I invite you to suspend any outlining of your life in your meditation. If you want to come back into your life and in the real world and outline what you have to do today, tomorrow, next day, this day, take a 21-day challenge, put a 13-day plan in order, put a 6-month coaching program in order, whatever it might be, okay? Nothing wrong with any of that stuff. That's the activity that's necessary for this all to work. And I'm going to start by putting myself in the consciousness of it. So meditate. Just sleep on it, figuratively. Actively be in a place for 20 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 2 10-minute sessions a day, whatever it is that works for you, where you're not trying to outline your life. You're not here to tell God what you want and what's necessary. We are here, I believe, because this is what's been working for me. The more I try to tell God what it is I want, the more I get, oh yeah, you sure? Really? Okay. Yeah. And it never ends up what I want. And as I have let go of all of that, what I want, what shows up, and when I'm open to it, is what is propelling me forward in a great, I believe, great, grand, and glorious and amazing way. And will continue to, I believe, as long as I continue with the processes, with the practices. If I give up on them, if I walk away from them, if I stop writing in that journal, I tell you, it's one of the greatest 15-minute practices of my life. 15 minutes a day with the Abundance Book by John Randolph Price. It's all it takes. Today was day number 10. I keep my mind and thoughts off this world, and I place my entire focus on God within as the only cause of my prosperity. I acknowledge the inner presence as the only activity in my financial affairs, as the substance of all things visible. I place my faith in the principle of abundance in action within me. I get to the consciousness of this deep, deep truth. And then I have another half a page to consider what's possible, what's coming, to continue that affirmation, to expand that sense, and to expand that vibration of prosperity. And perhaps I do outline a little bit. Perhaps I do, let the universe know what's necessary. Let the universe know what's coming. Let the universe know what your desires are. But we are never in a place where we're going to tell God what to do and how to show up as our lives. So I want to remain open. I want to stay open to the revelation, to what emerges. The name of this program is The Growing Edge. If you go back and watch any of the past episodes, you're going to see I surround myself with plants. In this studio shot, you only see one and a couple. If I move, you might see 2 back there behind the angel. But And the metaphor I love is not just that they're growing and there's new leaves, but there's it's always a surprise when there's a new flower. When something, when all of a sudden, boom, there it is. It wasn't there yesterday. That stalk has a flower. That spider plant has a new baby, a new offshoot. My peace lily gets a new flower. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I usually give an update on how many flowers we've got on the peace lily today. Today we got 5 flowers on the peace lily. A couple of them are pretty green, so I didn't look yesterday, but I got a feeling at least one of them was still a little hidden yesterday and is now more visible. That is what we're doing on the growing edge. We're listening for the more. We're listening for that spark of, wow, there's a new flower. Or, oh, I didn't know this plant flowered. Or, hey, look at the tenderness, the beauty of a brand new leaf on a rhododendron. Someone's just starting to open up a little bit. The beauty of nature is all around us, and we are part of that. And we are that same thing. And so I constantly am in that place when I'm working with somebody in a coaching situation or a private situation, a session or something, anywhere. And I see the spark of that new flower, of that new idea, of that new possibility, of that new recognition that there is a power for good in the universe and I can use it. When people awaken to their own spiritual magnificence, that spark of creativity, that spark that says yes, that goes out into the universe and creates a way before us. Remember that. Your consciousness is forever going out into the universe and creating a way before you, creating a path through which you may and are destined to accomplish, to live the life you truly desire, to accomplish your desires. Listening. How do I listen more? Where can I listen more deeply? Remembering that more is the motion of reality evolving as abundance, as prosperity, as my life, as your ministry, your work, my ministry, all of it. That's what we're here to listen for the more and allow that to be the inspiration, the impulse to do good, to be love, and to do good. I'm Reverend Robert. I'm done here. I'm out of here for today. I can feel that sense for just that one more moment that just says yes to all of this, knowing it has been a divine revelation and that this has served each one in some way. I am grateful. I am excited. I'm ready to go feel it up, to be it, to do it, live it. And so it is. Thank you, dear ones, for being with me here today. I love you. I appreciate you. I want you to go out and make it a great day. Please know I am available at any time, or you can connect with me at least. I can't say I'm available at any time, but please send an email, info@ntmedia.org. If you'd like to explore private coaching or any of the processes or any of the practices we talked about here today, I'm more than happy to schedule a time to connect and to be with you and to share more on, I believe, how this all works, or how it does all work for me. Join us next week. I'll be back next Tuesday, same time, 10 a.m. Mountain. And join us later today at 2 p.m. Mountain for one of my favorite programs of the week, New Thought Today. My brother, Reverend Elzia Sekou of the Center for Spiritual Living Denver, and I jump into a room and have a rousing and often far-ranging conversation on New Thought and where this philosophy may be going in the future, what's real, what's active, what's happening within the philosophy, today. And today we're going to have a deep dive discussion on the power of spiritual mind healing. Join us for that, 2 o'clock today. I'm Rev BRZ. I'm going to get out of here, get you back into the rest of your day, and say thank you once again. And just a quick reminder that you are an amazing being in the world. And I'm going to wrap this up by saying thank you to some of our sponsors.